In this final video for Chapter 3, we're going to look at box plots and the 5-number summary. So box plots are the last type of graph that we are going to look at. They're sometimes referred to as box and whisker plots. These are used with numerical data. We can use dot plots, histograms, stem plots, or box plots for numerical data. They're especially helpful in comparing two distributions where either one or both of the data sets are skewed. When we have skewed data, a box plot is preferable. So when we're using the median and IQR, we're typically going to use a box plot. A box plot shows the distribution divided into fourths. The left edge of the box is at Q1, the right edge of the box is at Q3, and the vertical line inside the box represents the median. The whiskers extend into the lowest and highest observations that are not outliers. Outliers are represented by dots. To visualize this for the first time, I have a data set that looks at the price of a gallon of gas at 12 different gas stations in Daytona Beach. We can see the range is $2.59 all the way up to $2.79. The way this box plot works is we've got the median, Q1, Q3, the min, the max, all kinds of values from our data set in here. To me, it makes sense to start in the middle and work our way out. This line in the middle where these two boxes meet, or the line in the middle of the box, sorry, nothing about it, this is our median. So the median appears to be just above 265, maybe 266 or so. And if we look at the data, since there are 12 data pieces, I should be able to split it 6 and 6 to find the median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is just a little bit off, but the median is 265. That's pretty close. Q1 is going to be the average of these two. Q1 is 263. And that's pretty close to what that is. Where this upper line is in the box, that should be Q3. That's just a 267 and a 267. That seems to be right on. This value is our minimum, just below 260. That's the 259 that we see right here. This is the highest value that's not an outlier. Outliers are represented by dots. So by the outlier formula that we saw in the previous video, 279 must be an outlier in this data set. That's the maximum. The highest value is 279. This is the 272. It's the highest value that's not an outlier. That's how a box plot is formed. Let's look at another example and create our own box plot. In this data set, which is already ordered from smallest to largest, just like the previous data set, that makes it a lot easier to work with. We have the ages of 27 Academy Award winners for Best Actress. We want to construct a box plot. We want to start with the median and work our way out. Because there are 27 data pieces, I'm going to split it so there are 13 data pieces to the left, 13 data pieces to the right, and my one median in the middle. When you have an odd number of data pieces, The median is that one number right in the middle. So I'm going to count up 13 data pieces. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in the first row. Going down to the second row, 10, 11, 12, 13, 34 here. This is going to be my median. You can double check, but there are 13 data pieces above it as well. Just below the 35, I'll put a line. That's where, think about these as two boxes meeting. The next thing I'm going to do is find Q1. That is the middle of the first part of the data set, those first 13 numbers. Right in the middle of those 13 numbers, could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This seventh number, this 29. There are 6 numbers below this 29, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers above that 29. The box will go down to this 29. Same thing for Q3. Count up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 42 would be my Q3. There are 6 numbers above it as well. I'll extend the box up to 42. Now it's a matter of drawing in my whiskers. I want to go to the lowest number that's not an outlier and the highest number that's not an outlier. If I compare the lower part of the data set to the upper part of the data set, the lower part is pretty clustered together. 21, 25, 26, 26. Those are all close in age. I don't really need to check to see if 21 is an outlier. I can just extend my whisker down to 21. However, on the upper side, it's not as clustered. It goes from 45, 49, which is pretty close together, but up to 61, that's a 12-year jump. 61, so it's clustered, but then 61 to 80, that's a 19-year jump. So 80, very likely an outlier, and even the 61s can be outliers. So I need to see, do I extend all the way up to 61 and put a dot at 80 for the outlier? Do I extend to 49 and then put dots at 61, 61, and 80? I need to see, well, are these outliers? The upper outlier formula is Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, and you can check that out from a previous video. Q3 we know is 42 plus 1.5 times the IQR would be 13. 42 minus 29 would give me the IQR. That is 13. So if I calculate this out, I'm going to get 61.5. Any value that is 61.5 or higher is an outlier. That means the 80 is definitely an outlier. But these 61s, those would not be classified as outliers. So I would put a dot up at the 80, and I would extend my line up to 61. This box plot is showing this data is skewed to the right. Just like this box plot is showing the data is skewed to the right. We're seeing these large jumps on the right-hand side, making it skewed to the right. The last thing we want to cover in this video is the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary is nothing new. It's just a name for a collection of terms that we've already seen. The 5-number summary consists of the minimum value in the data set, Q1, Q3, and the maximum value in the data set. The minimum can be an outlier, the max can be an outlier. And note that these values help us shape the box plot. We would start with a median, we go to Q1, Q3, the minimum and the maximum as long as they aren't outliers. And your calculator can do all of this for you. We want to find the 5-number summary for the given 12 monthly temperatures for St. Louis. To do this, I'm going to go where we've gone every time in Chapter 3. I'm going to go to the Stat button. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to enter in my data. 29.9 all the way up to the end. Now that all the data is in, hit Stat, go over to Calc, and select one bar Stats. You can scroll down, and you'll note that you'll have the 5-number summary listed for you. The minimum value is 29.9. Q1 will be 39.5. The median is 57.55. Q3 is 72.8. And the max will be 79.8. I could use these values to draw out my box plot quickly and efficiently.